Now we're in studio with a weather expert from the Mount Washington Observatory, Will Broussard. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Chris.
And we're talking, well, first of all, let's talk about the most important topic of the morning, which is the Sharknado. Is that meteorologically possible?
I would say that under very, very specific conditions, it could be possible. It has been known to rain frogs and rain fish in parts of the world.
So in theory, a tornado could pick up a bunch of sharks and launch them at the city of Los Angeles or Boston or even North Conway under the right conditions.
Yeah, I'd say North Conway probably a better chance among all those other cities.
There are many people out there who have no idea what we're talking about. It's probably better that way. But let's talk about some real stuff. You guys have some great programs going on at the Mount Washington Observatory and your sister building down here in North Conway. Tell us about that.
Definitely. So this summer there's so much going on. Starting next Wednesday, we have our Science in the Mountains lecture series. This is our 6th annual summer lecture series. They take place Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. and they'll be running 6 consecutive Wednesdays into August. So this coming Wednesday we have Claire Long from the White Mountain National Forest. She's going to come and talk about where the wildlife lives in the forest. So she's such a great character. I love Claire so much, and so she's going to come and talk to our guests about where we can find all the wildlife. Basically, this summer's theme, all the different talks are wildlife themed, or wildlife ecology and conservation. So a little bit of a change up from last summer.
Nice, and Claire is awesome. She is a great speaker, a great presenter, and she knows so much. It just starts flowing from her mind. Claire's a naturalist, and in the truest sense of the form, you just put her out in the woods, and she just starts talking. She can say, "Look at this little stick right here. A mouse has been here," and she'll point out 5 different, pieces of evidence that show that a mouse has been there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And she likes to bring props. So if you go to this presentation, she'll probably have animal skulls and furs and all different things to show. So
yeah, definitely. She'll have lots of different knickknacks and things from the forest to give out and show everybody.
So that's this Wednesday?
That's this Wednesday at the Weather Discovery Center, right here in North Conway Village, starting at 7 p.m.
And what's the cost to get in?
It's free.
There you go. Even
Perfect.
better. And then looking ahead to Wednesday after that, you said they're all nature-oriented, all White Mountain.
Yeah, so the following Wednesday we're going to talk about ospreys. So we have a gentleman from Squam Lake coming and talking about osprey conservation. Later this summer we'll also have a gentleman from the Fish and Game talking about black bears. And so how you can kind of maybe avoid some of those bad interactions between humans and black bears in the summertime in the North Country. We also have got a little cheat sheet here. We have a lady coming also from the National Forest talking about bats and white nose syndrome. Ooh. So a lot of our bats are actually dying off and very quickly. So we're going to talk a lot about that and why
and we
that's
need
happening.
Those bats. Bats have a bad stigma.
Bats have a bad rap, but no, they eat insects. They do their part, just like a lot of the insectivorous birds during the day. They come out at night and they help to kind of take care of all those pests that we like to swat at. So
bats take care of us. We need to take care of these bats.
Exactly.
You guys have another program, Summit Adventures?
Yes. So in the wintertime, we have our summit overnight trips, which are pretty fun, and they take place at the summit. But in the summertime, we have the exact same program, and we call these Summit Adventures. So if you go to our website, you can actually find out a little bit more about the format of the specific program. But basically, it's a trip to the summit of Mount Washington where you'll get a chance to have kind of a behind-the-scenes experience of what life is like at the summit in our observatory offices. You'll stay with us overnight. You'll get a couple experiences hiking outside in the Alpine Zone, which is a lot of fun. And you get to have dinner with us and talk to the observers, so it's a unique opportunity.
And the dinners up there, I've been overnight up there before, they're usually really good. You have these volunteers who stay up there for periods at a time, and they bring their culinary skills with them half the time. Some good cooking.
Some great home-cooked meals up there. I eat very well at the summit of Mount Washington.
And you get to see the behind the scenes, what the meteorologists and what the weather observers do when they're stationed up there. Most of the time it's probably studying radar for sharknadoes.
Exactly. We're checking the long-term forecast for sharks and hurricanes and things like that. But otherwise, well, they have to go outside every hour to take their observations. So you can find out what that entails. But there's also, every morning they have radio reports with the various White Mountain or AMC Hut system. So you can kind of, if you want to get up early, you can check that out. We also have pretty amazing sunrises at the summit, so that's a big attraction as well, to wake up early and check out the sunrise.
Sunrises, and you never know what you're going to see up there. If you are a fan of the Mount Washington Observatory on Facebook, or check out their website frequently, mountwashington.org, you've noticed a lot of northern lights photos from your observers this past year. It's been, I guess, a very active solar pattern.
Yeah, exactly. One of our observers, or one of our night observers, Ryan Knapp, is a phenomenal photographer, and he's been keeping track of these aurora activity. So we've had quite a lot of warning ahead of time to know when to go out and look. And unfortunately, I haven't seen a lot of the aurora myself up at the summit, but I've seen some of the imagery and the pictures. It's amazing.
They had some gorgeous ones, I think, this past winter, maybe in March. I think there were some just absolutely phenomenal ones.
Yeah,
there was
red
one
and
just
green.
this past week, and like you said, if you want to see it yourself, some of these things, if it's a clear night, you could see from the base of the White Mountains. You don't necessarily have to be on the summit, although half the time the summit is above the clouds that is blocking the view from everybody else. But you just become a fan of the observatory on Facebook, because you guys do a good job about posting possibilities.
Exactly. Yep.
When it could come out.
I mean, not just our pictures, but of course Science and Mountain lectures and our summit adventures are also all advertised on Facebook as well. So
lots of fun. We've been talking about it a lot, but we should hit on it again. The biggest fundraiser of the year for the observatory is just around the corner. So if you want to get involved, do it now, and that is
our 13th annual Seek the Peak Hike-a-thon. So that's coming up this Saturday, a week from today, and it'll take place basically from at the base of the mountain at the Great Glen Trails. So this is a huge party and hike-a-thon all day, and a big turkey dinner afternoon in the afternoon. Nice. People will be hiking they'll be coming from all over the country, and then they hike from different trailheads around Mount Washington, and then they kind of hike up and then hike back down and have their dinner. And we have our annual meeting for the observatory afterwards as well, so you can hear all about what we're up to.
Good fun.
Yeah.
And I have to I want to compliment your EMS swag.
Oh, thank you. Well, Eastern Mountain Sports is our big sponsor for our gear. And of course, for the Seek the Peak Hike-a-thon, of course, we also have sponsors too, Subaru of America, VASC, and EMS. But we get all of our rugged outdoor clothing from Eastern Mountain Sports. So when I'm up at the summit in the wintertime, I look like a big Michelin man.
But you're warm.
I'm completely warm. It's an amazing feeling to be completely bundled up in 70 miles an hour wind and 10 degrees. So.
That is fantastic. Well, did we miss anything, Will? Anything else you want to say?
Well, other than that, of course, we have ongoing events at the Weather Discovery Center, like daily 11 and 2. We have our live connection to the summit of Mount Washington, where the public can come in and connect to a meteorologist via video conference. Of course, I am the outreach coordinator for the observatory, so I'm always trying to plug my outreach and distance learning programs. So I travel around New England and teach school groups about the weather at Mount Washington and weather and climate in general. And so if folks are further away, then I will connect to them via video conference through our distance learning program.
So if you think this is cool, you'd like to have Will in your classroom in person, give him a call at the Mount Washington Observatory, or you could probably find out more at
you can go to mountwashington.org, MOUNT Washington.org /education. So that's where all of our offerings are.
Get him in your classroom. He brings props too. It's lots of fun.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Chris.
And we'll be back with more on White Mountains Today.
With bitter cold, freezing fog, and hurricane force winds,